Welcome to The Explainer. So you're using Adobe Experience Manager, and you know just how valuable your digital assets are. But let's be honest, getting them to the right people can be a real headache. Today, we're going to break down 3 AEM tools that, on the surface, seem to do the same thing, but they're actually specialists built for very different jobs. Let's figure out which one is right for your team. Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll set up the core problem you're probably facing. Then we'll introduce our 3 contenders and put them side by side. After that, I'll give you a super simple way to choose the right one for you, and then we'll get to the final verdict. Sound good? Let's jump in. Okay, so let's start with the big picture. Your team has poured tons of time, money, and creativity into building this amazing library of digital assets right inside AEM. Everything's approved, it's on brand, and it's all ready to go. But here's the million-dollar question. How do you actually get those assets into the hands of the people who need them? You know, your marketing partners, creative agencies, maybe even other teams inside your own company. You need a way to share that's locked down and secure, but also super efficient. It's a huge challenge, and lucky for us, AEM has a few different answers. So let's meet the 3 specialists AEM brings to the table to solve this exact problem: Brand Portal, Asset Share Commons, and the AEM Content Hub. And trust me, each one has a very, very specific job to do. First up, we've got AEM Brand Portal. The best way to think about this one is like your own personal, secure, armored career service. It's a platform hosted by Adobe that's built specifically to safely deliver your approved assets to people outside your company without ever giving them the keys to your main AEM kingdom. And what's so great about Brand Portal? Well, it's all about control and convenience. You can make assets expire, you can control who downloads what, and best of all, you don't have to worry about hosting it. Adobe handles all of that. This is absolutely critical for stopping outdated or unapproved assets from getting out into the world and causing all sorts of brand or legal headaches. Next up is Asset Share Commons, or ASC for short. Now, if Brand Portal is that courier service, think of ASC as a custom workshop. It's an open source tool that lets you build your very own asset sharing portal from the ground up. You get total control over the look, the feel, and exactly how it works. So here's the trade-off, right? Flexibility versus effort. ASC gives you complete freedom, but it runs on your AEM setup, and yep, it requires developers to build out that custom experience. This is the perfect choice for when a one-size-fits-all solution just isn't going to cut it. And last but not least, we have the AEM Content Hub. For this one, I want you to picture a high-speed internal pneumatic tube system, you know, like at a bank drive-through, that connects all your creative teams inside a huge organization. It's not for sharing stuff outside the company, it's for super fast content discovery and reuse within your company. This tool is an absolute game changer for big companies on AEM's cloud service. If you have multiple brands or operate in different regions, Content Hub gives everyone a single place to find and reuse approved stuff. This means your brand stays consistent and teams stop wasting time reinventing the wheel. It's all about driving efficiency on a massive scale. Okay, so we've met the lineup. Now let's put them side by side and really see how these different tools stack up against each other. This is where the differences really become crystal clear. Okay, let's break this table down. Take a look at Brand Portal. It's a ready-to-go portal for your external partners. That means setup is super easy, but you don't get much customization. Now look at Asset Share Commons. It's for internal teams, and since you build it yourself, you get total customization, but the setup effort is high. See the trade-off? And then there's Content Hub, which is totally different. It's a discovery tool for internal authors with basically no setup, but its whole purpose is content reuse. So, with all that in mind, how in the world do you actually pick the right one for your team? Don't worry, I've got a really simple 3-question framework that'll point you in the right direction. Just answer these 3 questions, and the choice becomes pretty obvious. First, who are you sharing with? If they're external partners, you're almost certainly looking at Brand Portal. If they're internal, it's probably ASC or Content Hub. Second, how much control do you need? If you want something that just works out of the box, Brand Portal is your answer. If you need to build a totally unique experience, it's got to be Asset Share Commons. And finally, your platform matters. Content Hub is only available on AEM Cloud service, so that could make the decision for you right there. All right, let's bring this all home with the final verdict. If you remember nothing else from this explainer, I want you to remember this simple breakdown of what each tool really is at its core. Here it is in a nutshell. Brand Portal is your secure distributor for sharing assets with the outside world. Asset Share Commons is your custom creator for building the perfect internal portal. And Content Hub is your internal connector, making sure everyone inside the company is on the same page. And that's really the heart of it. The most important thing to get is that these tools aren't really competing with each other. They're specialists. Each one was built to solve a very specific content sharing problem. The right choice just depends on which problem you're trying to solve today. So, the final question really is for you and your team. Thinking about your goals, whether it's secure external sharing, deep customization, or boosting internal reuse, which one of these specialists is the perfect hire to make your AEM workflow sing?